What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here coming at y'all with another 2 Minute Drill episode Wednesday, June 9th. It's just your boy tonight. B-Dub will be back for the end of the week, man. But hey, I'm happy to be here with y'all. I'm hoping y'all enjoying the episodes this week, man. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, man. Missouri continues our SEC in 30 days tomorrow. Make sure to go check out our Florida, our Mississippi State, and our Auburn episode, which has kicked off our SEC in 30 days. And make sure if you're a Pac-12 fan, if you're a Big 12 fan, Big 10 fan, ACC fan, go find your favorite team over these past few months, as we have an interview for just about every team. I think we have every single team in every conference except UCLA in the Pac-12, and there's like two teams in the ACC we couldn't get. We're going to have a makeup month in the month of July. Any team we couldn't cover during that month, I'm going to reach out to some new people, try to get some people on the podcast, maybe some coaches, players, things like that. So stay tuned for those big announcements, man. And of course, I'll get y'all at the beginning of the video. Go ahead and subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, man. Helps us out. Y'all been subscribing outrageously, man. We are almost to 300 subscribers. Never thought there'd be 300 people that wanted to listen to what we were putting out here. But we appreciate y'all, man. Hashtag road to 1K right here on the Bluebloods. But let's get into it, man. This is a topic, and there's this might be good. It's a solo episode because there's no other topic I've been more passionate about than college football expansion. I believe it was just over, I think it was last April, so about a year and like 2 or 3 months ago. It was like our 72nd episode, man. But we're at over 200 now on the Bluebloods. I proposed a 12-team college football playoff model that had automatic bids. We're going to go through it at the end of the show, but today Pete Thamel for Yahoo Sports reported that people, university officials, athletic directors, media executives, anyone with like a stake in the college football playoff or the expansion of the college football playoff have really, I guess they favor a 12-team model. So a 12-team college football playoff model has emerged as the favorite if there is to be an expansion model. The final decision is expected in the fall, so look for it sometime during the season. They might even wait till after season. So I think December would be a solid announcement time, right before this college football playoff that we're coming up with. The quote that a high-ranking college official told Thamel is, quote, "The reason that you go to 12 is because you can develop the road of least resistance toward a good result." Now, what that exactly means, not sure. It was kind of just like a bunch. It seemed like a very political answer, to say the least. But for me, this is the model that I've wanted. But the same source told Thamel, quote, "I do believe that they've looked at all sort of different things, but I haven't even heard an option B." So this is huge. I mean, this looks like it's going to be the way that like the initial thing for college football. They meet July 17th and 18th with the CFP Board of Managers. They're going to present the findings, playoff expansion, pros and cons. They're going to kind of go through the whole thing, and it's going to lead to a final recommendation. They're going to move it up to television partners, things like that, and it's going to take up to the fall to finalize. I think December will probably be the best date. But the source said that all signs are trickling down to an announcement to expand the college football playoff in the future. So back on our old episode, I have a whole model here I laid out. I even made brackets for y'all. So this is going to be a very interactive episode here on the Bluebloods. And my whole thing was, I said 12 was the number. I think it should either be 12 or 16, with 10 maybe a possibility, but I like 12 or 16 better. This is, similar to the NFL format where we separate into like almost two divisions. The first four seeds, so the top two from the AFC and NC get a bye, but this one, it would just be the top four seeds. This allows a few things for me, guys. One, automatic bids for Power 5 champions. I hate the fact that we're saying, oh, the Power 5's so up and mighty. The Power 5 is where this, and this happens. How are you going to have a Power 5 and only 4 seats at the table? I get it. the critics, the Josh Pates, the Twitter warriors on this topic. I get it. I respect their opinion. Me and Josh actually agree on a lot of stuff, but we do not agree on this. And you know, I get it, but how do you have a Power Five and no automatic bids? And then two, I've been a huge proponent on this podcast that says the group of five schools need more respect. That if we start including them in this hunt, it'll increase the parity in college football because it'll give those schools a fighting chance for some of these top recruits. Because right now, if you have a kid, let's just say you have a kid coming out of high school right now, guys, and I said, and your main thing is I want him to compete for a national championship. Damn, man, that eliminates almost all the school. I mean, you got five conferences to go to, man. You got less than 100 schools. I and I think if you increase that, it gives a wider range of schools an opportunity to fight for something meaningful. And there's so many kids. There's more kids that play at the Group of Five level than the Power Five level and down to the FCS and so on. So I think giving those group of five bids, and I think for my model, it's two automatic group of five schools. If there's more in the top of the rankings for those at large bid, then there'd be. But I mean, based on the 2019 and 2020 models I made, there's only two teams in, and I think that's a good amount. I think there's going to be five at large bids, and that's going to go in terms of the college football playoff rankings. So, if it really and truly, the way it breaks down for me is if you're in the top 10, you're going to be in the playoffs. So it's just like that's the goal because I think the 11 and 12 team got left out both the years in my models just because those group of five got the bid. And then even in 2020, one of the Power Five champions in Oregon wasn't in the top 10. So it took another spot away from somebody. So, and then, but you had Cincinnati at 6, who I guess kind of made it even. So you only had that 11 team left out there. And so I think this allows not only every Power Five conference to be represented, it gives a shot at, yes, I've heard people say if you win a conference championship, you should be in. That's not true. Let's be honest. When's the last time the MAC or the Sun Belt champion you thought they were going to win the national championship? Now, given Coastal Carolina, maybe if you want to jump on that wagon, but let's just say the MAC and the whatever you want to say. I mean, when's the last time you thought Northern Illinois could have won a national championship? Probably not often, or even San Jose State out there doing what they're doing in the Mountain West. I don't know about that, but maybe Boise State. But let's be honest. I think your top two teams are going to have the best shot. And if you're fighting as a group of five to get more respect, putting in your two best shots are probably your best opportunity because no one wants to watch UAB go play Alabama. Let's be completely honest there. But for me, I like the idea of the first, and this is where I think my model might differ for some people. So a lot of people are saying, "Oh, we'll just make all these games bowl games." I disagree. Let's make this as professional as possible. The first 3 rounds should be hosted by the higher seeded team. So this is going to bring in so much income to those smaller schools. It's going to give you an incentive to play your regular season games because the higher seeds you get, the more home field advantage. If you can be one of those top 4 seeds, you might get home field advantage all the way to the end. So, I mean, for schools like LSU, Alabama, it is so much better to play in Bryant-Denny, in Death Valley, even Clemson in Death Valley, Florida in the Swamp, whatever you want to say. Even USC having teams having to go all the way out west to play in the Trojan Stadium, huge advantage rather than you having to do the traveling and playing in a hostile environment. All those games would be sold out. Those games will do record numbers on TV, and it gives people a reason. The whole argument I hear is it's going to devalue the regular season. No, it's not. You're going to have to play for seeding. You're going to have to play to be a top 10 team in the country. And also, this is huge for those group of 5 schools because, and I think in one of my models, I think Cincinnati hosts a game. How big is that for Cincinnati, a group of 5 school in the AAC, to host a game? And I think they host an SEC school. How big would that be for that environment, that school, that program, that stadium, the surrounding community? You can't tell me that's a bad thing. It offers a small advantage, winning your conference, having a good season. The list goes on and on about why this is a good idea. And I'm never going to say this. There's someone who's always going to be upset. The 11 seed, I think that this in the 2020 model, Indiana misses it by 1 spot. They're the 11. They're number 11. Auburn was number 12 in 2019. So, I get it. There's going to be an argument, but if you aren't a top 10 team in the country, do you really have a good argument? And let's be honest, that 11 to 15 range is kind of where that real divide is. I get it. The Colin Cowherds of the world, the Josh Pates of the world are going to say the real divide's at 2 or 3. I disagree. I think you're going to see upsets. Yes, Alabama might win it 2 out of 3 years, but what about that 1 year where someone sneaks up on them, like LSU did a few years ago, like Auburn did in 2013? I mean, upsets can happen, guys. Let's be completely honest here. I did a whole episode on the 2-minute drill. I'll link it in the description. That way you guys can go check it out next. So go check out the description of this video. Go check out my argument for why March Madness lays out a good model for why the playoffs should be just expanded. I don't even use my 12-team model. If you're not a top 10 team, why should you get a shot? I mean, you can tell which team is better than the other in that range. It's all good, but I want to share the models actually. So let me see how I can get this pulled up here. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share my screen with y'all here. Let's see. Awesome. So, we see right here, this is what the 2019 model would be. You look, let me see if I can, I'll just go ahead and make it bigger. Made by Bracket HQ. Shout out to them. That's what we use to make our brackets for when we voted on the best players and all that. You see the 8-9 matchup, Florida-Wisconsin. Are y'all going to tell me that game doesn't matter? You're going to tell me if those teams at full strength in 2019, that wouldn't have been a good game. The winner of that game goes on to play LSU. You aren't giving them any chance. Florida had a great game with LSU in Death Valley already. And I think Wisconsin was just as good. Then you move down to the 5-12 matchup, Oregon-Boise State. How many of y'all think Oregon's a guaranteed win there? Because I don't. And that would be a group of 5 program going to play Oklahoma. And so you would get Florida, Wisconsin in Madison, and you would get Oregon, Boise State in Eugene, Oregon, in Autzen Stadium. That would be a great game. And then the winner of that game would go on to Norman to play Oklahoma. Then you get Memphis, Georgia. Memphis coming to Athens. Say what you want. Georgia probably does win that game, but think about the matchup 3 versus 6 the next round if Georgia wins that matchup. Georgia Clemson in Death Valley. We get Georgia Clemson this year to open the season. One of the most hyped games of the year. But let's be honest, everyone would love that game. Then you get Baylor Penn State. Penn State coming to Waco in what probably is the biggest game in Baylor history. And the winner of that game goes on to play Ohio State in Columbus. How big of a game would that be? Penn State, Ohio State had a decent game that year. So let's just be honest here. This does not hurt the parity of college football. Doesn't hurt the regular season. There are great matchups here. LSU versus Florida in Death Valley, Part 2. It was a great game the first time. Or you get Wisconsin, LSU in Death Valley. The Wisconsin LSU game when LSU, I think they went to Lambeau a few years ago, was one of the most hyped games of the year. Then maybe you get Oklahoma, Oregon, and Norman. Who's not excited about that game? Are you serious? You're not excited about that? Give me a break. And then you probably get Clemson, Georgia in Clemson. Are you for sure picking Clemson? By far, unquestionable. And what if Memphis pulls upset? How great would that be? And then you're probably going to get Baylor, Ohio State, or Penn State, Ohio State in Columbus. Those games are absolutely worth it. So take a good look here, man. This is the 2019 bracket. Let's get to this bracket, man. This is the 2020 bracket. This is what the bracket would have been like this year. Let me line it up a little bit. But yeah, so of course you get the 1 seed Alabama, 4 seed Oklahoma, 3 seed Ohio State, 2 Clemson. So I forgot to mention it last time. My top 5 seeds are the 5 Power 5 champions. Then you go down the list in terms of ranking. So if a group of 5 team like Cincinnati is a 9 seed, if the group of 5 team falls in that list of the top 12 teams, and that's great. But if not, they become the 12 seed, the last seed, like you see in Coastal Carolina there. They were 13, so they jumped a team to get into the playoffs. So you have Cincinnati, Florida in the swamp. Florida kind of looked a little weak down the stretch. They lost like their last 3 games. Are you sure Cincinnati is not pulling the upset after they almost pulled it on Georgia in Atlanta? I love it. And then you get an Alabama-Florida rematch, even if Florida wins, where we saw in the SEC championship, that was a really, really good game. Then you get Oregon, Coastal Carolina. Imagine the chaos of Coastal Carolina winning and getting to go to Norman to play Oklahoma. Or even you get an Oregon-Oklahoma matchup, just like we had last year in 2019. What a game between the Ducks and the Sooners in Norman. Then for Ohio State, the 3 seed, they get the winner of Iowa State or Notre Dame. How much chaos. ESPN loves talking Ohio State and Notre Dame. Imagine that matchup, Ohio State, Notre Dame in Columbus, or even Iowa State, Ohio State in Columbus. Breece Hall and that team was balling. They almost upset Oklahoma. They beat Oklahoma in the regular season. They almost upset them in the championship game. That game would be electric. Then what a matchup, man. We didn't get to see it in the regular season. Texas A&M, Georgia on Kyle Field. You're saying the first round matchups would be blowouts and wouldn't matter? What a game against Texas A&M, Georgia. We finally get to find out if A&M's for real. They beat Florida. Their only loss was to Alabama. Then you had Georgia finally figuring out with JT Daniels. And then Clemson had to host A&M in Death Valley, or they get Georgia in Death Valley. Come on, man. And then just let's project. Let's say the higher seeds win all the way. How many of y'all aren't signing up for Alabama, Oklahoma in Bryant-Denny? Or Clemson, Ohio State in Death Valley? Or, I mean, the possibilities are so large here, man. I want y'all to comment below, man. What games would y'all be most excited for, and how in the world would y'all not love to see some of these games on your television screens in December? So my main question is, I know a lot of people are going to love the Texas A&M Georgia matchup. I get it. But how many of y'all would love to tune into Oregon, Coastal Carolina with something to play for, with a chance to win a national championship, a chance to advance in the playoffs, rather than the Oregon-Iowa State matchup where half the teams set out for both teams in the Fiesta Bowl, and it really didn't matter? I'm waiting. Which one would y'all rather have seen? As I promise you, any of the college football, people, any of the college football personalities that hate expansion would much rather watch Oregon, Coastal Carolina with something to win rather than Oregon matched up with one of these teams in just a meaningless bowl game. And that's how my personal model would work out in college football. And I mean, let me know what you think. So I'll go through it again in case you missed it. Top 5 seeds, Power 5 champions. The rest go down the list in terms of the large bids go down the list of college football playoff rankings, and 2 group of 5 teams have to fall in there. So this year, Cincinnati was in the top 12, so they get an automatic bid, and then Coastal Carolina slots in that 12 spot. In the 2019 model, Boise State and Memphis slid into the 2 last seeds because they were right outside the fringe, so they've replaced Auburn and Indiana, I believe. So comment below and let me know what you think. I presented y'all all the data here. I presented y'all what the matchups would be. Would y'all like to see those matchups instead of those bowl matchups that a lot of y'all probably fell asleep during then? Because I mean, I get it. I know I'm a college football addict. I would watch what I would watch University of Texas San Antonio play University of Texas El Paso on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m. That's just how diehard I am as a college football fan. But let's be honest, not many of y'all are waking up for that one. I mean, so I think this would add meaning to the postseason. It would add meaning to the regular season for fighting for seeding if we created that home field advantage for the first 3 rounds. And it would just create so much interest and money for these universities and programs that got to host these games and get on this national stage. How often does Coastal Carolina get to go travel to Eugene, Oregon and play in Autzen Stadium? It never happens. You get to see those crazy matchups like Ohio State, Notre Dame in Columbus. You get to see what Georgia, Clemson in Death Valley. You get to see these amazing matchups that you'll get those Florida, Ohio States in the swamp, in Columbus. I mean, there's so many possibilities, guys. This is what's going to keep college football the best sport in the country. It's going to make college football the most exciting sport in the country. So come on, guys. Switch over to my side. I presented all the evidence. I'll link below. So go check out this episode next. I linked it in the description. It's why I used the March Madness bracket to kind of lay out how it lays the foundation for how college football should expand the playoffs and why it should. Well, go check out the episode, man. But as always, guys, subscribe to the channel, man. I love y'all support. We put this out for y'all, and I never thought we'd be as big as we are right now. And I'm excuse me, I am eternally grateful for how much support y'all have, man, how much interaction we're getting on the videos. Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all subscribing and tuning in each day, Monday through Friday, the 2-minute drill right here. Got dope episodes y'all need to go back and check out. Man, Lord, man, I'm sorry, but we appreciate it, man. I will be back tomorrow. B-Dub will be back with me tomorrow, covering all the biggest storylines on the 2-minute drill. Our Missouri interview for our SEC in 30 days will also drop tomorrow. Florida, Mississippi State, Auburn already out now. Go check those out and go find your conference somewhere else. If you're subscribed for our HBCU content, got awesome 2-minute drills all throughout our channel, highlighting some of the biggest issues, biggest games, biggest debates in SWAC HBCU football. We mostly cover the SWAC. I need to expand into some more conferences. So I'll make sure to kind of expand our content as we get closer to the season. But right now, it's a lot of SWAC coverage for the HBCUs. And yeah, man, we definitely appreciate it. But make sure to subscribe now, like this video, man. Big thumbs up helps us out. But for myself, the Blue Bloods, and the 2-minute drill, man, I am out.